In this video, the learner will analyze and describe relationships between angles and side using inequalities. We've previously talked about triangles having congruent sides, and then the angles that are opposite those sides are going to be congruent, like in isosceles triangles. When we have those two legs of an isosceles triangle that are congruent, those two base angles, which are across from those, are congruent. But what happens if the sides in a triangle aren't congruent? Like, say we have a scalene triangle. How does that change in size of the segments affect the angles? So we're going to consider the following triangle, ABC. Well, notice the largest angle B is opposite the longest side, which is segment AC. And the shortest side, BC, is opposite from the smallest angle A. So we have the relationship where the largest angle is going to be across from the longest side, and the smallest angle will be across from the shortest side. And that leads us into our angle-side relationships in triangles. If one side is longer than another, then the angle opposite the longer side has a bigger or greater measure than the angle opposite the shorter side. So to put all that into an illustration here, we have a shorter side than the red one over here. So 7 is shorter than 9. That implies that the angles across from them will have the same relationship. The angle across from the shorter side will be the smaller angle. The angle across from the larger side will be the larger angle. So if YZ is less than XY, or if XY is greater than YZ, the measure of angle Z will be greater than the measure of angle X. It works the same way with angles. If we have larger angles, the sides across from those will be larger. So if angle J is larger than angle K, angle J is opposite from side KL. Angle K is opposite JL. So KL will be bigger than JL. Now, be wary of using the symbols for angle and the inequality symbol. Make sure you write what you mean to say. So if you mean to put an angle symbol, make sure that's what you put. Or if you put the greater than or less than symbol, make sure that's what you need. All right, in this example, we want to classify the triangle by sides and then list the angles from smallest to largest. So this triangle has all different lengths, so therefore it's scalene. Remember, the smallest side will be across from the smallest angle, and the largest side will be across from the largest angle. Therefore, the smallest side is AC, and the smallest angle will be angle B. So since we're listing it from smallest to largest, angle B would be listed first. AB is the next largest side, so the angle that's across from that is angle C. So angle C would be the next largest. And since side BC, or segment BC, is the longest segment, the angle across from that is angle A. And so angle A would be the largest angle. In this example, we want to list the sides of the triangle in order from longest to shortest if the angles have the given measures. So measure of angle A is 10x, B is 5x minus 17, and C is 7x minus 1. Remember, we know the triangle's angle sum theorem, where all three angles add up to equal 180 degrees. So I know that the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle C equals 180. Then I can substitute each expression in for the measure of each angle. Then I can combine like terms. So 10x plus 5x plus 7x is 22x. Negative 17 minus 1 is negative 18. Add 18 to both sides and divide by 22 and get x equals 9. The reason I needed to solve for x is I need to know what the angle measures are, so then I can then tell which side is longest. So now I can substitute in 9 and find the measure of angle A is 90, B is 28, and C is 62. Therefore, I have this triangle where angle A is the largest angle, C is the next largest angle, and B is the smallest angle. We of course remember that the smallest angle is across from the smallest side, and the largest angle is across from the longest side. Well, if we want to list the sides in order from longest to shortest, we know the longest side is across from the biggest angle. So the biggest angle here is angle A. The side that's opposite that is side BC. So BC will be listed first. The next largest angle is angle C, and that's across from segment BA. The smallest angle, angle B, is across from segment AC. So the sides in order from longest to shortest is BC, AB, and AC. We also have an exterior angle inequality that tells us the exterior angle is always going to be greater than the measure of the remote interiors. Remember, the remote interiors are the ones that do not touch angle 1 or are not adjacent to angle 1. So angle 1 is of course greater than angle A, and that's what this inequality says here. And angle 1 is also greater than the measure of angle B, which is what the second inequality says. So we're going to use the exterior angle inequality theorem to list all of the angles that satisfy the stated condition. So we want the measures that are less than the measure of angle 7. So here's angle 7. That's exterior to the triangle LMK. So I know that angle 7 is going to be greater than the two remote interior angles in that triangle. The remote interiors are 5 and 4 in that triangle. So I know that the measure of angle 7 has to be bigger than 4, and the measure of angle 7 has to be bigger than the measure of angle 5. But angle 7 is also exterior to this larger triangle JKL, with angle 1 and angles 2 and 4 as the remote interiors. Well, we know that angle 7 has to be bigger than angle 1 according to the exterior angle inequality. And because angle JKL is angles 2 and 4 together, we know 7 has to be bigger than 2 and 4. So the measure of angle 7 also has to be bigger than the measure of angle 2. So we know all angles that are less than the measure of angle 7 are 1, 2, 4, and 5. Now I want to take a look at the interior angle 6, and I want the measures that are greater than that angle. So since this is an interior angle, I'm now going to look for an exterior angle that we know is bigger than angle 6. So angle 6 will be a remote interior angle for angle 8. So I know angle 8 has to be bigger than angle 6. But I also know that 3 is an exterior angle for angle 6 being a remote interior. Therefore, angles 3 and 8 have to be greater than the measure of angle 6. These are the problems that I need you guys to try. So there's 4 problems here. Make sure you have these done in your notes before class tomorrow.